In this episode, we talk about why the India Bloc and the BJP approached the Election Commission days before the Lok Sabha election results. We also talk about BRS leader K Kavitha's judicial custody being extended till July 3rd. But first, we talk about the Arunachal Pradesh Assembly elections. Hi, I am Niharika Nanda, and you are listening to Three Things, the Indian Express news show. The results for the Arunachal Pradesh Assembly elections, which were conducted last month, were declared on 2nd of June. It was the BJP which returned to power in the state, securing a clear victory that saw its tally increase from 41 to 46 in the 60-member House. This marks the most commanding win for a party in the state since 1999, when the Congress secured 53 seats. To discuss this win and the extent to which BJP increased its vote share, we are joined by Indian Express's Sukrita Baruah. So, Sukrita, can you talk about the seat distribution that has emerged from the results of Arunachal Pradesh elections?
So, the Arunachal Assembly elections has been a landslide victory for the BJP. They were already in par with big numbers in the state. They had 141 seats in 2019. There are 60 seats in the Arunachal Assembly. And this time they have increased their tally and they have 46 seats this time. So there are only 14 other seats that have gone to other parties, and the primary opposition which is there, which is the Congress, which was in power in the state until 2016, has been reduced to just one seat in the assembly. Even 2019 was not good for it. The Congress had won just 4 seats. But this time it has further dwindled to 1. So it's kind of in an existential crisis in Arunachal Pradesh right now. The remaining seats, 3 of them have gone to independents. 3 have gone to the NCP, the Ajit Pawar faction. And 5 have gone to the National People's Party, which is a Meghalaya-based party, Conrad Sangma's party. And 2 of them have gone to a regional party from Arunachal called the People's Party of Arunachal. Now, while, an array of different parties have gotten some seats, small number of seats, obviously compared to the BJP, what's interesting is that the NPP and the NCP Ajit Pawar are both constituents of the NDA and of the Northeast Democratic Alliance. However, the state BJP had asserted earlier and is asserting now as well that they won't enter into a post-poll alliance with any of the other parties, and that it'll be a single-party government. Now, what is further interesting is that, these 14 seats which have gone to other parties, 7 of them, including, candidates from NPP, NCP, PPA, and all 3 independents, were actually people from the BJP. They were people who wanted tickets from the BJP. They ultimately did not get nominated by the BJP. So they contested either as independents or on tickets from other parties and were consequently expelled from the BJP. So now, these are 7 people who were from within the BJP. So now we have to see, what their path and, their relationship with the BJP will be like.
And how similar or different is this from the previous assembly elections?
So like I said, it was pretty much the same, right? So you had 41 for the BJP, you had 4 for the Congress, obviously one party in a far more dominant position, which has kind of been also, the pattern in Arunachal for a while. When a party wins, it wins with a big majority, with a significant win. That wasn't the case in the 2014 elections. The Congress had won and they were in majority. And in fact, at that time, the outgoing Chief Minister Pema Khandu was a part of the Congress. And when the Congress won in 2014, he led the Congress government. However, with the forming of the NDA government in the center, things started taking a different turn. And ultimately, there was a lot of political maneuvering which happened in 2016. Pema Khandu left the Congress along with 43 MLAs and he joined the PPA. And there was a lot of maneuvering. And finally, from a Congress chief minister, he became a BJP chief minister, basically in 2016, which is why, even though Congress government was elected in 2014, the party ceased to be in power from 2016. And this was largely a result of Pema Khandu's exit from the party along with MLAs who supported him. So that is the shift that has taken place in Arunachal over this time. And as for, the difference between 2019 and now, the BJP already had a very large vote share. They had 50.86% in 2019. That has increased now. So that's 54.57%. As for the Congress, they were already in a bad position. Like I told you, they had 4 MLAs. They had 16.85% vote share. And in this election, that has really taken a nosedive. So now they received a 5.56% vote share.
And now with the BJP coming to power again, do we know who is expected to become the Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh?
So, of course, when we talk about state level politics in Arunachal at present, Pema Khandu is the tallest leader. However, the BJP has not announced a chief ministerial name yet. Outwardly it appears that, of course, Pema Khandu is the obvious choice. However, according to some inputs that I've been getting, there does appear apparently to be some kind of internal push and pull between MLAs, who have the support of Pema Khandu, those who have the backing of Deputy Chief Minister Chawna Main. So after the Lok Sabha results are out on June 4th, there will be a meeting with the MLAs where this decision will be taken.
And talk about what the local leaders have to say about BJP's triumph in the state.
So local leaders, national leaders, the in charge of the BJP elections this time was Assam Minister Ashok Singhal. So all of them kind of have been emphasizing on the importance that they say has been given to Arunachal Pradesh by the NDA government in the center. They highlight the fact that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has visited Arunachal Pradesh several times over the course of the past year. They emphasize on investments that they say have been made in the road sector, highways, basically road connectivity as well as air connectivity in the state. So they highlight these issues. That, of course, is what the BJP emphasizes. On the other hand, political observers kind of underline the fact that this is largely in tune with how the regular, voting patterns at the assembly elections in Arunachal Pradesh. They say that the state government is largely formed in line with whoever is in power at the center. In fact, a professor from there who I spoke to, a political science professor, he said, if and when the Indian National Congress were to come to power again in the center, things are very likely to change. Of course, that's a much more cynical way of looking at it. And also, I had a chance to speak to the General Secretary of the Arunachal Pradesh. I'm just communicating his claims. So he was saying that this was not a people's mandate because he was talking about how, there was a wide-scale movement of other MLAs from other parties to the BJP in the days running up to the elections, including the 4 Congress MLAs. By the end of it, the Congress only had 1 MLA left because the rest had joined BJP in the run-up to the elections. So they were saying that, this is an election formed by manipulation, an election outcome that was shaped by manipulation. That is, of course, the opposition's narrative.
And Sukrita, can you tell us how the BJP ended up having an upper hand when it came to contesting the elections in Arunachal Pradesh?
Like I said, there is generally in the recent past been a pattern of one party, usually being the one that is in power at the center, being in a dominant position in the state. The BJP also has a lot of resources to put into its campaigns. They obviously, see their chances being much stronger if they contest from within the BJP. So, I also mentioned about the kind of glut that the state BJP had because everybody wanted a BJP ticket. So all these MLAs from different parties, not just Congress, the other parties which are also in the assembly, all of them kind of en masse jumped ship to the BJP because everyone wanted the BJP ticket. It is the party in center, it is the party in a dominant position in the state, and it is the party with the most resources. So it's everybody's best bet.
And next we talk about both the BJP and the opposition India Bloc approaching the Election Commission in recent days. While the Congress has requested that the counting of postal ballots be prioritized, the BJP alleges that the Congress has made systematic attempts to undermine the electoral process. To discuss what postal ballots are, the BJP's concerns and the response from the election authority, we speak to Indian Express's Damini Nath. So Damini, days before the election results are announced, we saw both India Alliance and the BJP go to the Election Commission with separate demands. Can you begin by talking about the India Bloc's demands?
So postal ballots are sent via the post to service voters, which includes defense personnel who are posted, on the borders, and to diplomats who are outside the country. From 2019 onwards, postal ballots have also been extended to senior citizens, persons with disabilities, and after the pandemic to COVID-19 patients as well. So postal ballot counting starts first. 30 minutes after that, EVM counting is supposed to start as per the rules. The India Bloc has demanded that postal ballot counting be completed before EVM counting is finalized.
And do we know why the India Bloc has made this demand?
So the India Bloc has expressed concern that, over the years, the number of postal ballots has really increased. And especially with senior citizens and persons with disabilities being given this facility, the number this time is going to be much higher than 2019, when about 22 lakh postal ballots were received. So the India Bloc thinks that the margins in many seats would be quite slim and postal ballots could have an important role to play. They want the postal ballot counting to be completed before, because when the counting is done, the ballots are checked and they can be rejected on various counts. So they want this to be completed so that there is no pressure on the officials there to reject any more ballots, which could have an impact on the election if the margin is very slim.
And Damini, when we talk about postal ballots, can you tell us the change that was made in this regard in 2019?
So after the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, a new rule for counting of postal ballots was introduced. So the counting of postal ballots is still started before EVM counting, but postal ballot counting can now go on irrespective of whether the EVM counting has been completed or not. So the Election Commission gave these directions in May 2019. The reason to do this was that the number of postal ballots had really increased, and also that from 2019, the Election Commission also was required to count VVPAT slips of 5 randomly selected polling stations per assembly segment. So this means that the EVM counting has to be finished and then only the VVPAT slips can be counted. So if they wait for postal ballot counting to complete, in some cases it can take much longer. But the Chief Election Commissioner on Monday clarified that in most constituencies, the number of postal ballots is not that much. So in any case, the counting is complete before EVM counting is finalized.
So has the Election Commission said anything about this demand made by the India Bloc?
The Chief Election Commissioner addressed the press conference on Monday, and there he was asked about this, and he said that the postal ballot counting will continue as per the rules, and midway in the election process, the counting procedure cannot be changed.
Now, Damini, can you talk about the reasons why the BJP has approached the Election Commission of India?
So the BJP approached the Election Commission because they felt there were attempts being made by the opposition, particularly the Congress, to undermine faith in the electoral process. And they wanted the Election Commission to put an advisory out to all officers to make sure that all the rules are followed and there is no intimidation on the ground. So there have been allegations by the opposition, including the Congress, as well as civil society groups, expressing concern that, counting procedures may not be followed and there's pressure on officials on the ground to ignore some of the rules. Now, this is just an allegation that is being made by some in the opposition and some civil society groups.
Also, Damini, you mentioned that the Chief Election Commissioner, Rajiv Kumar, held a press conference yesterday. Can you talk about the highlights of the press conference?
So this press conference was the first one that the Election Commission held after announcing the elections on March 16th. In 2019, the Election Commission would hold a press conference after every round of polling. This time that was not done. So Monday's press conference was where the Election Commission gave an overview of the entire polling process. They announced how many voters had actually cast their votes, which is 642 million voters. They answered questions from the media on, MCC violations, on postal ballots. And the Chief Election Commissioner really took this opportunity to, address the allegations against the Election Commission. He, in fact, said that the Election Commission had failed to understand, quote unquote, mischievous narratives that were spread this time. He said there was a pattern in the allegations against the Election Commission. First, there were questions raised on the electoral roll, then on the integrity of EVMs, and then on the alleged delay of release of voter turnout data by the Election Commission, and now on the counting process itself.
So was this the first time that the Election Commissioner has said something like that?
It's definitely an interesting and perhaps a rare occasion for the Chief Election Commissioner to come out and take on these allegations head on and allege that there was a pattern or a design in these allegations against the Election Commission.
And Damini, the other thing related to the Election Commission is this allegation that has been made by Congress leader Jairam Ramesh. Talk about what he has said.
So Jairam Ramesh made a social media post on the 1st of June where he alleged that about 150 district magistrates had been called up by the Home Minister, and he said that this was an attempt to intimidate them. We must remember that the district magistrates are the returning officers in the constituencies. While he did not elaborate on that, the Election Commission wrote to him and asked him to explain this comment. And Jairam Ramesh had asked for more time. He had sought an extension of 1 week to reply, to which the EC denied, and he's expected to give his reply by Monday evening.
And in the end, we talk about BRS leader K Kavitha. The Enforcement Directorate has alleged in its supplementary charge sheet filed against BRS leader K Kavitha before a court that more than rupees 1,100 crore was laundered in the alleged Delhi excise scam. And from this amount, the ED has alleged that Kavitha was involved in the proceeds of crime, that is POC, worth rupees 292.8 crore, out of which kickbacks of rupees 100 crore were given to AAP leaders. The allegations were made in a supplementary prosecution complaint, ED's equivalent to a charge sheet filed before Special Judge Kaveri Baveja, who on Monday extended Kavitha's judicial custody till July 3rd. The court also granted bail to 3 co-accused persons, Prince, Damodar and Arvind Singh. The 3 accused were charge-sheeted without being arrested during the investigation by the ED. The documents claimed, quote, Kavitha conspired with the members of the South Group and the AAP leaders through accused Vijay Nair, who was acting on behalf of the top leaders of the AAP, to pay kickbacks to the tune of rupees 100 crore and receive undue benefits, unquote. It added that Kavitha was also involved in the act of influencing the witnesses. The ED further claimed that Kavitha, by way of conspiracy and formation of Indo-Spirits, a company accused in the case, has participated in the generation, acquisition and use of the POC of rupees 192.8 crore, which was derived as a result of the conspiracy of kickbacks and payment of kickbacks. By showing Indo-Spirits as a genuine business entity and acquiring the POC of rupees 192.8 crore, she is involved in projecting this POC as a genuine profit from a legitimate business, the ED alleged. Kavitha also received the POC of rupees 5.5 crore from Indo-Spirits in the name of her associate and co-accused in the case Abhishek Boinpalli, the federal agency said. The report further accused Kavitha of destroying digital evidence to conceal her role and involvement in the case. The ED alleged, quote, Kavitha has deleted evidence and contents of her mobile phone. She presented 9 phones for examination which were formatted and had no data. She was evasive and couldn't give any explanation for those formatted phones, unquote. The scam pertains to alleged corruption and money laundering in the formulation and implementation of the Delhi government's excise policy for the year 2021-2022, which was later scrapped. The ED arrested Kavitha from her Banjara Hills residence in Hyderabad on March 15th, and the CBI arrested her from Tihar jail. You were listening to 3 Things by the Indian Express. Today's show was edited and mixed by Suresh Pawar and produced by Shashank, Bhargava and me, Niharika, Nanda. If you like the show, then do subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also recommend the show to someone you think will like it. Share it with a friend or someone in your family. It's the best way for people to get to know about us. You can also tweet us at Express Audio and write to us at podcasts@indianexpress.com.